All right. Welcome back. You will let me know if you can hear me so that I can start. Right. If you can hear me, you can just put it in the comment section. If you can hear me, just type in the comment section and see my screen as well. Today, we are going to focus on various lookup functions. I will be specifically deal with VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and then XLOOKUP as well. And then when I'm done, I will move straight to date and time functions. Date and time functions as well. So I will start with the lookup functions. Yeah, somebody's asking how long will it be? It's going to be short. It's going to be short lesson because I'm going to focus on lookups and date and time. But we'll see, maybe 1.5 hours. Yeah. But then the lesson will be recorded as well. Right. So basically, we have three types of, or three different functions, or even 4 that we can use to solve lookup questions. Now, they allow us to look up a value in a range of information and then display it a specific result. Now, when you're using the V and then the H lookup, there are 3 things that you must look out for. What, where, and then which. What value are you looking for, which refers to the cell or the value that you want to find, which is called the lookup value. Then the next one, where is the information to look in? In other words, the lookup range. So the lookup range, we normally pick the lookup value from the lookup range. And it's better for you to name that range. In other words, make it an absolute reference, which I will show you today. Then the third part will be which output should be displayed, which results should be displayed. And then we call it the return array, or whatever you are going to return or whatever you are going to bring to that site. So it's better sometimes when you get a complicated question, you can use building block to solve such type of questions. Now, like I said, we have 3, V, H, and then the X lookup. Now, yeah, forgive me here. I needed to just put it. When you use the VLOOKUP, we use the VLOOKUP to display the value that are in vertical. So here you must always watch out for that. The table should be vertical. And then here, the X lookup, the table should be horizontal. The H lookup. And then the X lookup can be used, just like the mid can be used to solve this one. It does not take care of the table. So as alternative to X or the H and then the V lookup. In other words, we can use X lookup to solve whether the table is vertical or horizontal. We are going to look at that. And then we also have the date and time function. We'll be looking at the date function, which creates date in the correct format. The year function, which extracts the year from any date. The month function, which extracts the month from any date. The day function, which is used to extract the day from any date. We also have today with the open and close bracket, which determines the current date. And then we also have now, which displays the current date and time. We also have the time function, which creates a time in the correct format. The hour function used to extract the hour from any time. The minute function used to extract the minute from any time. The second function used to extract the second from any time. And then we also have the year frac, which is used to calculate the age between two dates. And then we also have the days function, which is used to extract the days from given date. Right. So we are going to look at this to solve most of our questions. So for a start, I'm going to open the date and time function. I generated this data that we can make use of it. It says date, date and time. Let me see it again. For game. Yeah, date functions. Right, I got it. So I'm going to start with it, and then I'll move straight to the V and then the XLOOKUP, and then I'll solve all the questions as well. Right. Now, let's say I have this given date and then the time. Now, I have the dates here. And then I want the number of the day. I want to extract the day from this given date. So here I will use a function called day function, equal sign, day function. You double click on FX, and then you click on your date given. So it gives me the day from this given date, which is 2. Now, if I want the number of the month, I want to extract the month from here, I use the function called month. You double click on FX, and then you click on the date. It extracts the month for you. And then if I want the year to be extracted from here, equal sign year. Then you click on the date. It gives you the year from the given date. Now, you can see that the day function, let me go to the formula and then show you the formula. The day function extract the day from the given date. The month function is used to extract the month, and then the year function as well. Now here, it says the name of the day. Now, this day is just 2. So if I want to extract the name from here, so you see here, when you have it, you can also do that by formatting this one, the number format, if you want to format it to a specific date with a DD, the 3D or the 4D. You go to custom, and then you do it. So here it extracts for you. So I have these 2. I just say equal sign this value. Then I can now change this one by going to the number format, custom, and then I change it to 4D. So that gives me the day in full, like Monday. Right. Now let's go to date 1. Here also, I have these small activities that we are going to take a look at. Now, remember here, I just use it to get my values. Now, if I want today's function, if I want today's date, so I use today, equal sign today. So it gives me today's date. Now, if you want now, use now as well. So if I want to get the number of years, if I want to get the number of years based on this date given, and then I want the number of months, let's start with the days. And then I want the years. And then I want the years as well. Right. So if I want the number of days between the current date and then the date given here, I use a function called days, equal sign days, not day. Remember, day is to extract the day from a given date, but days is used. Days. Equal sign days. Then you click on FX. Now we have the end date and then the start date. End date is always the current date. The start date is the date given. In most cases, the end date is bigger than the start date. So here, the end date will be today. Open bracket and close the bracket. Or you can click on today's date given to you here. And then the start date will be this date given to you. So this is the number of days. Let's check the formula again. Equal sign days into bracket, the end date, which is today, with bracket open and bracket close, comma, the start date, which is the date given to you, which is A3. Right. This is the number of days. Now, if you want the number of months, you ask yourself, we can get the number of months by using days function also. How many days per month? We have 30 days, some are 31, and some are 28. So if you use the 30, you will not be penalized also. Now, equal sign days. So if I'm looking for the number of months, I can equally get that answer by using days function. So equal sign days. Then you click on your FX. Now the end date, like I said, will be today. Open and close bracket. The start date will be this date given to you. The end date is today. You open and close bracket. The start date is the date given to you. Now, when you are done, you click OK. So this is the days. Now, go to the formula bar. Whatever answer that you have there. Now you are converting the days into months, and we know there are 30 days. So we say divided by 30. Divided by 30. So this is the number of months. Equal sign days into bracket today, comma A3, which is the date given, all divided by 30. That is the number of months. Now we can also achieve the number of years. We can also achieve the number of years by using the days function. We can achieve the number of years by using the days function. Now, how do we achieve that? Equal sign days FX. Now the end date, like I said, is to be today. And then also the start date will be the date given to you. And then when you are done, you click OK. Then you go to the formula bar. The function for the days is there. Go there. Now you ask yourself, how many days per year? There are 365 days and then 366 days in a leap year. So because of that, for cat purpose, you divide it by 365.25. 0.25 is the quarter because of the leap year. So we say divide by 365.25. So it's going to be equal sign days. When you are done with the function for days, divide by 365.25. Then it's going to give you the number of years between the two dates. Now, if the question is asking you to convert it into an integer, to convert this answer into an integer, then you go there and use the function called int. Just after the equal sign, you type int, int, double click on fx and press enter. It's going to convert it into an integer for you without the decimal. Right, if it's not like that, you skip that. Or alternatively, you can use the building block, then you take it to get your answer properly. So this is the number of years. This is the number of months by using days, and this is the number of days. So all of them, we can make use of days. So in the examination, stick to one formula. Either you want to use days to calculate the number of days, the number of months, and the number of years. Now, I can use the same function or another function called year-frec to get the number of days. Year-frec is used to get the number of years. Now, if I want the year-frec to get the number of years, equal sign. So I'm giving you two options to choose. Equal sign, year-frec. Click on fx. The start date is the date given to you here. The end date is today. And then, okay. So the number of years between these two dates is 20.9. Year-frec, very easy to get the number of years. So if you are calculating the number of years, you can stick to year-frec instead of using the days and divide by 365. Year-frec, it will give you the start date and then the end date. Right. Now, the same year-frec can be used to also get the number of months. Equal sign, year-frec. Click on fx. The start date is the date given to you. The end date is always today, unless you are given a specific date, and then okay. Now you have this year. Go into the formula bar. Now we are converting the years into months. Now you ask yourself, how many months per year? We have 12 months. So when you are converting using the year-frec to the number of months, you multiply by 12. And then, okay. So here, instead of it to give me number, it's giving me a date. So I must go to the number format. It says custom. I change it from custom to number. So this is the number of months. Right, we use the same year-frec. So to use year-frec to calculate the number of months, this is what you do. Equals and year-frec today, and then the date given to you. Whatever that you have, go to the formula bar, then you say times 12. Then you get that answer. Right. Now I can also use the year-frec, which I will not advise you, to calculate the days. You use the year-frec, then you multiply by 365.25. Equal sign, year-frec. The start date is the date given to you here. The end date is today. And then okay. So whatever you have here, the answer you have, go to the formula bar, multiply by 365.25. Why? Because we are converting the age or the years into days. So we have 365.25 days in a year. So this will be the answer. It gives you this. Go and change it to number. Right. So like I said, you can stick to days or you can stick to year frame to calculate the number of days, the number of months, or the number of years in all your questions. Now, we move straight to this other one by using the date function. Now look here. We are having a date here, a date given to you. Now it says, calculate the new date after 5 years later by referring to the date given to you here. Now, 2nd of June 2005. Let's say this was the date that you were born. After 5 years, what will be the new date? Right. So we use the function called date. If you are going to generate the date, the new date, we use a function called date. Equal sign date. Click on FX. Now it says the year, month, and date. Repeat this. Inside the year box, we are going to use year function. Year, don't put equal sign. Year, open bracket. You click on that date, which is A3. Close your bracket. Under the month function, month also, you repeat. Open bracket. Click on A3. Close your bracket. Under the day function, day, open bracket. Click on that cell, you close bracket. Now, year into bracket A3 gives us 2005. That is the year from that cell. Month into bracket A3 gives us 6, extracting the month from that date. Day into bracket A3 gives us 2, extracting the day from that. Now, the question says, 5 years later, they didn't talk about month, they didn't talk about the day, they are talking about the years. So you go to the year field or the year column, the year space, and say +5. When it says later, you say plus. If you say before, you use minus. So +5, you click OK. So this is our new date. 5 years later from this date will give us this date, 2010, June 2nd. Right, now here, you can autofill to get all of them. 1.5 years later, 1.5 years later, we want a new date. Equal sign, date. Double click on FX. Inside the year, don't forget to repeat it. Year into bracket A3. Month function to extract the month. And then the day function to extract the day. Now, after this, we now have to look at the question, say 1.5 years. So it will be, you can just say plus 1.5 for the year. Or you can also say, so plus 1.5, we get that answer. Or alternatively, you can just say +1 and then the month +6. Because 1.5 is 1 month, 1 year, 6 months. So you say +6 under the month column, you get the same answer. Now this one says 20 days earlier. Now, like I said, earlier means before, you use minus. So we use the function called date. you click on FX, you repeat it, year of A3, month into bracket A3, and then day into bracket A3. Always you must repeat this. Now after that, then you go and look at the question. 20 days earlier. So we stick to the day, not the month and year. Earlier means minus, so minus 20. So this will be the new date. 20 days earlier will be 13th of May, 2005. Right. So I would like you to also do this. Number of days, number of years from today. We use year frag. Like I said, use year frag. Start date is this date. End date is today. You click OK. Or you could have achieved it by using the building block equal sign, year frag. Don't forget to put the today somewhere. Let's say today is here. Equal sign today. So you come here, equal sign, year frag. Start date, this date, end date, you click on today function. It gives you that date. Now, if you want to autofill, it's going to give you error because this today is also there. So either you scroll down or today also so that it works perfectly, or you autofill for you in the building block. Now, number of months from today. Like I said, number of months, you can make use of year frag or days. So we can say days, or you can use year frag. Then start date is this date. End date is today. You click OK. Go to the formula bar. Now you are converting years into months. So you say times 12. So these are the number of months. Don't forget to change it to number. Now, number of weeks from today. Also, we can use weeks by using the year frag, or you can use days. Remember how many days per week? 7. So number of weeks, we use days. Days function to get a number of weeks. End date is the current date, which is today. Start date is this date. Now it gives you that date or this value. This is the number of days. Now, how many days per week? 7. So here you go there, and then because we are looking for weeks, you just say divide by 7. You change it from date into number. So this is the answer. So whenever you are calculating weeks, you use days, whatever you have there, you divide it by 7. That's the number of weeks. So basically, this is what is expected from you regarding date function. Now let's go to the time function before we start solving questions. Time function. I'm still checking. If you have any question, you can ask. Remember, this is being recorded, and then I'm going to also share this link immediately after the lesson. Now we go to the time function. We go straight to the time function. And you can practice this also at home. The data is there with you. Right. Find hour from the given time. We want to take the hour from here. So we use the function called hour. And then you click on this. It gives you the hour, which is 5. So we can now autofill to extract the hours. So hour of the time given will give us the hour. Now, the minute, we use also minute of the time given. And then second, also we use second function from the time. So basically, just like the date, the hour function to extract the hours, the minute function to extract the minute, and then the second function used to extract the second. Right. Now, if we want to calculate the number of hours from the current time, now the current time we use now function. So you don't use today, we use now. Now this time is given to you, so we want the number of hours. So you can use the hour function together. Equal sign hour. Go to fx. And then the serial number we use now. Open and close. Minus the time given. So you use the hour function now minus the time given. It gives us 14 hours between the current time. So we used hour into bracket now, which gives us the current time minus the A3, the time given to you. Now, what about if you don't want to use the hour function, we can achieve that by also using now equal sign, the open bracket now minus this time given to you. You close your bracket. Now there are 24 hours per day. So if you say now minus the time given is going to give you days. So you say times 24. There are 24 hours per day. So this one will give you time. Then you go to the number format, change from time to number. So you change to the time given to you. So it's better use the hour. Okay, this one was supposed to be. Yeah, the time given is giving us error because of the noun. So it's better you stick to when you have two different times, then you can easily use that one, this function or this formula. But if you are sticking to now, the moment you put the multiplication there, is giving us an error. I think there should be another bracket. No, there are two brackets there, which is correct. Now minus this one times 24. That's giving us a huge number. So it's better use the hour function. But we will look at some of the questions. If let's say there were two times here, if there were other time, if there was another time here, which is 16 hours, and you want the hour between these two, then you can now say equal sign let's say this is the departure time. Now you have departure time and arrival time. Then you can easily say equal sign departure time minus the arrival time. Don't forget to put them into bracket, then times 24. There's 11 hours. So when you are given the departure time and then the arrival time, you can easily use this to get your answer. Is the departure time minus the arrival time or into bracket times 24. Alternatively, we could have achieved that by using our function. You click on fx, then you click on the departure time minus the arrival time. It gives us 11 as well. So basically, with our function, you can achieve all your answers. Now, number of minutes from the current time. When you're looking for minute, you have to also use the hour function. So equal sign hour function. Click on FX. Now open and close minus the arrival time. You click OK. So this one gives you the hours. Now you are converting the hours into minutes. How many minutes per hour is 60? So times 60. It gives you time. Go and change it to number. So this is the number of minutes from this time to the current time. The same way, where if you are doing second, we use the hour function. And then here the serial is now, because the current time minus the time given. Click OK. Now we are converting these hours to seconds. So you go there times 60 times 60. So if you are converting hours into seconds, it's times 60 times 60. Then you change this one to number. So this will be the number of seconds from this time up until the current time. Right. So basically, this is what is expected from you from time. Now let's go to when you are given a specific time, then they want you to create a departure time or arrival time. So let's say this is the arrival time, and they want you to create a new departure time. If you spend 6 hours and 3 seconds, so we have to use the function called time. Equal sign time. So just like the date, we use the hour function to extract the hour from this time. We use the minute function to extract the minute from this time. And we use the second function to extract the second from this time. Now, after this, the question says 6 hours and 3 seconds after. So after means plus, before means minus. So here, 6 hours, you go to the column for hours, you say plus 6. You go to the column for the seconds, you say plus 3. They didn't talk about minutes, so you leave that part and then okay. So this one gives us the new time. Now, if the question wants you to format it into this type, you go to the number format, custom, and now you change it to hour column, which is HH, column, minute, MM, column, SS, to 2 seconds, so that you have it like that. Right, so this is how we change or we calculate a time when you are given the number of hours and the number of seconds. Now here, I want a new time after 9 hours and 6 minutes or before. So here you see equal sign, time. Equal sign, time. You repeat the same steps. Now hour, open bracket. Don't forget to close your bracket. And then minute, open your bracket. And then second, open your bracket. Right, now because the question says 9 hours before and then 6 minutes before. So 9 hours before, you go to the hour space there, minus 9, and then 6 minutes before, or 6 minutes, yeah, you go there, you say minus 6. So this is before you subtract, and then after you add. Then click OK. Time, the hour 9. Yes. Here we are getting the hashtag now. All because of the time given here. Remember 5 hours. So if let's say this time here is 20 hours, we'll get our right answer because we don't want negative time. That is why it gives us that. The formula is correct. Now, find the second from the given time. Find a second. To derive a second, we'll talk about it. Number of hours from the current time, we discuss it also. Number of minutes from the current time. So basically, this is what is expected from us between the date and then a time. Now, let's go straight to some of the questions under date and time before we go to the lookup functions. So the date and time before we go to the lookup function. This question says, 3 work, insert a formula in cell C10 to determine the number of days it took Willie Adam for the telecommuting. Use the date started in column D and the date finished. So here, 3 work, let's open it. Right. We want to calculate the number of days between the 2 dates given to us. So we have the 2 dates here. The date started and the date finished. Now this question wants us to find the number of days. I think it's here. To find the number of days here. Now, if you want to find the number of days, there are 2 ways. Like I said, you can use days function, or you subtract 1 day from another date. Now we can just say equal sign. Equal sign. The finish date. Always check the bigger date. The finish date minus the smaller date. 4. If you made a mistake, let's say equal sign, you chose this minus that one, and it gave you negative. That means you swap them. So you have to check as well. Or alternatively, you can use days. Equal sign days. And then the end date is this one. The start date is the smaller date. 4. If it gives you negative, don't forget to change it. Right. So if, let's say, we were supposed to create the number of years, we just say year frec. Year frec. The start date is this date, and then the end date. So the number of years, we use the year frec. Right. So basically, this is what is expected from you regarding this type of questions. Now let's move straight to the next question. Let's open it. Right. Now, this question says we should calculate. The winner of the competition will be announced 31 days after the closing date. So here, the keyword here, 31 days. After the closing date. If the closing date is this date, and the announcement will be made on that one, that means after 31 days. Determine the date on which the winner will be announced in cell P2. by using the date in cell P1 and then the appropriate date function. So there's a date in cell P1 and then use a date function. So P1, we have the closing date there in cell P1, and then we want to display the new date. So there's a date submitted here, and then the closing date here. So because the question says 31 days after, so we are using that date, we are referring to the closing date. Will be announced 31 days after the closing date. So the closing date is here. So what you need to do here, we use the function called date. We use the date function. And then you click on your FX. Don't forget to use the year into the closing date, the year of closing date. And then the month into bracket, the closing date. And then the day into bracket, the closing date. Right, after this, they said 31 days after. So you go to the days and then you say plus 31. Then okay. So it gives us the new date. So 31 days after this date will be 30th of August, 2019. Right, that is what is expected from us regarding this question. Now let's take a look at another question for novice. Now they want us to calculate the number of months to determine the date which the artist piece will be removed. Let's open it and see. So please try your hands on these questions. For novice. It says we should insert the function. There's given to you the number of months given to you in column I. So column I has the number of months, the date on which the display of the art start are displayed in column J. So this is the number of months and column J has the date. Now the question wants us to put this date here, which is to determine the date which the artist piece will be removed. Now, as you can see, even you can check from the data set given to you, you can check the date in is this date. So this is the date out based on the number of months here. Now, this was on the 16th and 3 months. After the February, it gives us 16th of May. So here is increase. That is the 3 months after. So you use the date function. Use the date function. You click on your FX. And then the year, you repeat the year. You just repeat the same thing here, the year of the date in. The month into bracket, the date in. And then the day into bracket, the date in. Now, when you are done, because the number of months, we are touching the number of months. So you go to the month column, you say plus. Then you click on the month here for this particular person, which is 4. This time you don't type 4, you click on that cell. So now when we drag down, it should work for all of them. If you drag down, you're going to get the same answer or different answers. So basically, this is how we do date and time calculations. So I'll urge you, let's do one time calculation, then you do the other questions. So you do this other questions also for me. For citing, each game drive lasts 2 hours and 45 minutes. Insert a time function in cell F7 to display the time the game drive will end. So let's look at that also. For now the question says each game 2 hours and 45 minutes will last for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So now we want to display the time the game will end. That's the end time. So we have the start time in column E. We are looking for the end time. So we have to use a function called time. Equal sign time. And then we use the hour function to extract the time from the time in. Then we use the minute function to extract the time from the time in as well. And then finally, we use the second function to extract the time from the time in. Now with this, the question says it's going to last for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So we go to the hour space there, the hour column, the +2. And then we go to the minute +45. Then okay. So this will be our new time. So 2 hours from this time, and then 45 minutes will give us 2015. So basically, this is how we use the time as well to solve questions. Now, the last part before we go to the lookup function, 7 ticket. 7 ticket. Use a function in D6 to determine the total number of hours. Display the answer in decimal format, and then the start time appears in column B, and then the end time appears in column C. So 7 tickets. So here we are looking for the number of hours, and then you are given the start time and then the end time. So the start time is given to us here, and then the end time is also in C. Right. So to calculate the number of hours, like I said, we use the hour function. Equal sign hour. Click on FX. Then the serial number, you click on the end time minus the start time. Now it gives us 0. Always go and check here. It should be number. The hour of the start time, 20 hours, to the end time. You go and choose number. It shouldn't give us 0, but we are getting 0 here. It should give us between 1730 and this one. Or alternatively, but this is correct in examination, you just leave it as it is, you get a mark. Alternatively, you can use equal sign, the formula, then the end time minus the start time, all times 24, which gives us 2.5 as well. Right. So you can use the hour function, or you can use the subtraction minus the 24, or multiply by 24. The end time minus the start time times 24. Or we can also use the hour function, then we change it to number if it's giving you time. Right. Now let's move straight to the lookup function. So I think we have solved a lot of questions regarding the time. Now let's go straight to the lookup function. Those of you using Office 365, I'll urge you to always use the XLOOKUP. And those of you using Office, the lower version, we use V or H. Now, I'm going to start with the first question regarding the lookup. There are so many questions here. 3 top 10 chocolate or chalk. 3 top 10 chocolate or chalk. Three top 10. Okay, let me search for it. It means it's not here. I'll copy it and then insert it in the data file that you are having. Right. Now, how do you determine lookups? I will use this data to explain it in brief. Now, band position, and then the companies are here. Now we need to insert something. Let's look at the question once more. Work in the band position worksheet and in the company worksheet. Use a function in column C to look up the name of the company from the company worksheet. So we are working here in a band worksheet, column C. Now, we want to display the various companies here. They are in the company worksheet. So we want to display them here. Now, I'm going to start with XLOOKUP. Then I'll go to V and then HLOOKUP. Now, what do you do here? This is the lookup table. You check where you must put the answer here. Now, we realize that we have the company code and then the company. Then here, we have the symbol, and then also we have the name of the company. Now, the names of the companies are here already. KitKat, those are the symbols, and then the company code is there. So the company code is already there, and we are going to display the companies here. So what you need to do is that you give them different names. The lookup table, first of all, you go there, give each of the row or the column different name. Now, I'll give the symbols their names. You see, we have the symbols in row 2, and then the company names in row 3. So I will select the symbols. I'm not going to include the heading called symbol. So I will select the symbols, right-click, and choose define name. To give it a name, to restrict it, in other words, to make it an absolute reference. So I can give it a name as A, and then OK. And then the companies, you also restrict them. You select, don't include the heading. You right-click, define name. You give it a name also as B. And then OK. So as you can see, I've given this one name as A. When I select, I see the name as A inside the name box. Again, when you select this, you see the name as B. Then when I come to the band position, I use the function called XLOOKUP. So for XLOOKUP, give each row or each column different names. XLOOKUP, click on your FX. The lookup value is mostly on the left-hand side, but I'm not going to go there first. First of all, you start with the lookup array, which is the A, the first name you gave. The return array, the second name, which is B. The ones you are going to return. The columns you are going to bring them here, which is the company name, which is B. Now, look out for the lookup array. The lookup value should be part of the lookup array. Now, when I go to lookup value, on the same row, value means one cell. You see F, N, M, B, D, C. And you see that on the left-hand side, it is part of this one, the company code. So the lookup value will be on the same row, which is the company code, not the retail. You click on it. Now, in most of the questions, you just click OK, and then you get your answer. But when you are getting NA with the XLOOKUP, do this. Where it says the match mode, which is approximate, because here, when you go to the lookup values, here is 201F, but here you get F. If the lookup value was just F, then you can give it the answer. But because they are not the same, it's approximate. So you go to match mode, you put -1. If it gives you, then it's approximate. If it gives you 0, then you go to the search mode, or the match mode is -1 or 1. So here, 1 gives us wrong answer. So you put -1, and then here 1. The search mode. So for XLOOKUP, the approximate, it has either -1, the match mode, or it has 1. So if -1 doesn't give, you put 1 there. So take note, for the match mode, it's either -1 or 1. And then, okay. But let's check whether we got the right answer here. Let's check. The F should be Ferrero. Now, not this. So meaning it is not supposed to be -1. So mostly you check it from here by using the match mode. Either negative, it's supposed to be -1, because when you put 1, it should give you 0. So the approximate is always -1. 0 will not give you, only -1 and 1. I don't know why this one is giving us hashtag, because it's supposed to give us the correct answer. Because if you put 1, it's going to give you different answer. Right. Now, we could have achieved the same answer. We will check again. We will come back to this question. We could have achieved the same answer by using what we call the V or H lookup. Now, let's go back and check the lookup table. We can see that the lookup table is horizontal in rows. Now, if it is horizontal, we use H lookup. If it is vertical like this, nature, if it's vertical like this, we use V lookup. But if it is horizontal like this, we use H lookup. That's the only difference between the V and then the H lookup. But then the X lookup does not factor in any of those. So now, what do you do here? You first give the table a name without including the heading. So here I'm going to right click and give it a name as D. For the H and VLOOKUP, you select the entire table, not each of the row or each of the column. And then you go to where you must put the function $HLOOKUP. Why are we using HLOOKUP? Because it is horizontal. And then the lookup value is this one. The table array, you type the name of the table, which is D. And then the row index. Which row do we have the company? It's in row 2. Let's go back and check. You can see row 1 is the symbol. Row 2 is that one from the table. So you type 2. Now, again, when you click OK and giving you hashtag NA, it means that the lookup value is not approximate. So here you check here, it says lookup value. The exact match is false, approximate match is true. So the lookup value is true because it's not the exact match. Now, NA, if you put false, it will give you the approximate match. So this type of question was giving us errors because this 201F is not the exact match if you were to use this type of question. Right, unless we use another function to extract it. Now let's look at that function. We can also achieve this by using another function called right function, equal sign. The same question, you could have achieved that one by using the right function, equal sign right. The text is A4, number of characters will be 1. To extract from the right-hand side the symbol. So with this, we can easily use our XLOOKUP also, or our HLOOKUP. Equal sign. Don't forget, this one must be done in the building block. So equal sign, XLOOKUP. The lookup value will now be this one. The lookup array will be the name that you gave, which is A. The return array is B. So we got our answer right. You don't need to even put -1 or 1. So this question wanted us to use text function to extract it before we could get that answer right. Alternatively, when we were to use the HLOOKUP, equal sign HLOOKUP, lookup value is this one. The table array is D, and then the row index is 2. We got the answer as well. So now when you use the HLOOKUP, you must put true here. No, false, because it is the exact match. So you use false to get the exact answer. Right. So basically, this type of question, because the code or the symbols were attached to a number, so we needed to use right function to extract it before we can use the lookup function. No wonder it was 7 marks, this type of question. You needed to use one function inside another function. Right, now let's move straight to the next question under lookup. The next question under lookup. 3 projects. Let's look at 3 projects. This is 3 projects. Right. Now with this question here, the lookup table is in the categories. Remember, the lookup table can be in different worksheets or on the same worksheet. Now, this is the table. As you can see, the table is in horizontal. Hence, we have to use HLOOKUP or XLOOKUP. Now, The question says, insert a suitable lookup function in cell J6 to determine the project category for the first project based on the number of participants in column D and then the list in the categories worksheet. Now, I'm going to first use the XLOOKUP, then I will use the HLOOKUP as well. Remember, if you're using XLOOKUP, you go to the table. Don't include the heading. You separate each of them. So the first row will be this one. The number of participants, I won't include this. I right-click and choose define name. So here I'm going to give it a name as A. The second row, you select, you right-click, define name. I will give it a name as B. Now, when I go to this worksheet here, I'm going to put a function here. Equal sign, XLOOKUP. Equal sign, XLOOKUP. Right. Now, like I told you, first of all, stick to the lookup array, which is A, the first row, the return array B, the second row. Now, the lookup value is always, if the question didn't tell you, the lookup array or the value is always part of the lookup array. Now, it's mostly on the left-hand side. Few instances that you will see on the right side of where you are inserting the formula. Now, this question told us we will find it in column D. So on the same row, column D, you click on it. Remember, the lookup value is not a range. We don't select. On the same row where you are inserting the function, you click there. And then you just click OK. If you are getting hashtag NA, like I said, all that you need to do for the XLOOKUP, the match mode, you put -1. And then OK. Right. For XLOOKUP match mode, just put -1, which is the approximate match. Why do we need the -1 in this case? Just go and check the categories. We don't have 68 there. They are just a range, 30, 51, and then 71. But then when you come here, the lookup value was 68. That is why you needed to put what we call the -1, the approximate match. Now, let's solve the same question using HLOOKUP. For HLOOKUP, you need to select the entire table, not individual row. Don't include the heading. You right-click, define name. I'm going to give it a name as D, and then OK. And then when I come here, I use equal sign HLOOKUP. Why HLOOKUP? Because the table is horizontal in rows. And then FX. The table array is the D. The row index is row 2 because the categories are in row 2. The lookup value is D6. Now, if it doesn't give you, you just put false. That's the approximate. The exact is false, then the approximate is true. So you just type true and then OK. So we got that answer. So the range lookup is either true or false. False is the exact match, the same value. True is the approximate match as well, when you are dealing with the HLOOKUP. Now, imagine I want to use VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP, like I said, VLOOKUP will be vertical. It was going to be vertical like this. When you see the table in columns, then you have to use VLOOKUP. If I was to use VLOOKUP, you select the table. Again, you give it a name. I give it a name as E. Then when I come here, I'm going to use equal sign VLOOKUP because the table is vertical. The table array is E. The column index, the column I'm taking it from is column 2. And then the lookup value is this one. Again, I must put false or true, the approximate. So VLOOKUP is vertical because the table is vertical. And then HLOOKUP is horizontal because it's horizontal. But both cases, we can use XLOOKUP to achieve that result. So make sure you always use XLOOKUP if you are using Office 2019 or 365. Now, I will give you this question to do for me as well. You have to try your hands on most of these questions. If you get stuck, don't forget to ask questions. Now, let me go straight to 4 visitors. Let me go straight to 4 visitors. Even before you even read the question with the XLOOKUP and then VLOOKUP, you can easily determine from the data set that you are given. Right. Now, there's a code worksheet here. There's a code worksheet which contains code, the description, and then the location. And now we are supposed to put a function here. Let's say here. Let's check the question again. It says use an appropriate lookup function. So they will always put it this way, appropriate lookup function, or they can even say a VLOOKUP, but you can still use XLOOKUP. In cell F4 to determine the location. So we are going to bring the location of the pyramid in row 4 by using the code worksheet. Now, we are using the code worksheet to bring the location in F4 to put the answer here. Now you have to check where are the code. If you check here, the code are 1, 2, 3. They're already there. So this will be the code. So we are going to first use the XLOOKUP, and then we use the appropriate vertical or horizontal. Now, what do you have to do to use XLOOKUP? Because we are going to use the location and then the code. We give the name to the code as A and then the location as B. So we select the values under the code. Don't include the heading. Right click, define name, we give it as A. Go to the location, select them as well. Right click, define name, give it a name as B. We don't need the description because we are using the code to take out the values for the location. Now, when you come here, we use XLOOKUP. Equal sign XLOOKUP. FX. The lookup value. Like I said, you come there, the lookup array is the A, the code. The return array is the B. Then the lookup value on the same row for the code. You click on it. And then now here, the match mode, you can ignore it or you say -1, or you ignore it and then click OK. So we got it. Now, this one, we can also achieve that, those of you using older version, by using what we call the vertical lookup. Why VLOOKUP? Because they are in columns, not row like the previous example. So what you need to do is to select the values, not the heading. Right click, define name. I'm going to give it a name as D, or you can even type your own name. Remember, the code is in column 1. or A. Description is in the column 2 or B. And then the location that we are going to return are in the column C or 3. So we want the third one. So we come here into equal sign VLOOKUP. Why VLOOKUP? Because it's vertical. And then the table array, I made it as D. Column index, we are taking from column 3. That's the location. Then the lookup value is this value. The column index is column 3. If you make a mistake, and let's say you make column 2, you see it's giving you the pyramid, which is the description, and it's wrong. If I say 1, it's giving me the code again, but we want the third one, which is the location. And then you click OK. Right. So basically, this is how we use vertical lookup and horizontal lookup. Right. You can check different questions. There are so many questions here. For novice, hiking, 3Com. 3Com also has it. We have 4 donations, 4 crashes, 4 movies. Try and use all these to solve the questions. I'm going to pick one of them as well to get the answers. Let me open the 3 work, and then I solve the same question. But I want you to try your hands on all these questions. 3 work. Right. Now, the salary range is there. As you can see, it's vertical. Now we are going to display each of them, the salary range here. You see, I've not read the question, but then I could easily see. The question wants us to put it here, the salary range. Now, check the salary range worksheet. It's vertical. This is the one we are going to take to that side by using the employer type, which is the column A. So the employer type is this one. And this one is going to be the lookup value. Now, I will start with the VLOOKUP because it's vertical. So you select them. Don't include the headings. Right-click. Define name. Maybe I want to give it a name as AA. When I go here, because it's vertical, I use vertical lookup. VLOOKUP. FX. Now, the table array is the name you gave to that table, AA. Column index. We want the salary range, which is in column 2. If you go here, it's in the second column. So column index will be 2. Now the lookup value. You check here. The table array, you take the lookup value from the table array. Semi-public, which is here. So it is part of the second column or the column in the left side. You click there. Now, we want this salary range. Now here we have the semi-public and then public. So the lookup range, we type false, which is approximate. Why do we type false? Because here is public and semi-public. Otherwise, it's going to give you wrong answer. So you say the exact match, either public from semi-public. If we don't type false there, and we type true, it will give us the answer, but when you drag down, some of them might give you wrong answers. So the VLOOKUP, make sure you know whether it's approximate or exact match. Now let me use the XLOOKUP. If I was to use XLOOKUP, what I would do is I will give the employer type separate name, right-click, define name, give it as A. Then the salary range, you select, right-click, define name, give it a name as B. So you come here and then you put the function called XLOOKUP. Click on FX. The lookup array is A, the return array is B. Now the lookup value is this one. Then the match mode -1. Then we get our answers right. So basically, XLOOKUP, don't forget, give them separate names. If you are using V or H, you must select the entire table. Right. Last question before we end here. I will take this 3 users. Now, according to the question, or without even reading the question, you have to first identify the lookup table. You have to identify the lookup table. So this is the lookup table in the applications worksheet. And it is vertical, so you can use vertical lookup or horizontal lookup. Now, where are we displaying? We are displaying it here because I can see YouTube and then WhatsApp. So meaning the app will be our return array and then the code will be the lookup array. So I give them separate names. The code, I give it a name as A. The app, I give it a name as B. Right. Then I can now go here and then insert the function here. Equal sign XLOOKUP. Equal sign XLOOKUP. Click on FX. Now the lookup array is A, return array is B. Then the lookup value is the code on the same row. So you check the code on the same row. You go there, here is it. And then the match mode -1. Right. So basically, we use the XLOOKUP to achieve it. We could achieve the same by using vertical lookup. You select the entire table. Right-click, define name. Let me give it a name as D. Remember, vertical lookup or horizontal lookup, you select the table as 1. Don't include the heading. And then you come here, equal sign vertical lookup. Click on FX. Then the table array, the name you gave to the table, which is D. The column index, which column are we taking the social media, which column 2? Lookup value on the same row. So if you see here, it's not giving me the right one, it says Reddit. So the lookup here is the false. And it gives me Facebook. Right. So this is all about the vertical and horizontal lookup. There are so many questions which I have already shared with you. Make sure you try to solve these questions. If you come across any challenges, don't forget to send a message under this particular video, which I'm going to post immediately after this lesson. So spreadsheet, we have covered the lookups. We have also covered text functions. We have covered date and time. Those are the main challenging topics regarding spreadsheet. We will look at count ifs, sum ifs, and the other functions and graphs as well in our next meeting. And then from there, we go straight to database, then HTML and Microsoft Word. We will try as much as possible to cover every topic for the grade 12, both theory and practical, before you start your June examination. Our next meeting, we are planning it to be on Friday, either Friday or Saturday. I will communicate with you in the group so that we have another meeting, or we can even have it during the week. And then the long weekend, we will try and do it daily to cover all the topics. Thank you for your time. Any question, make sure you put it under this video. Goodbye.